back to The Dawn with Lucy Mwendwa. This is the show where we command the morning and cause the dawn to know its place. This segment is called the equilibrium, where we're just trying to strike a balance in this life. And my guest today is the amazing Dr. Christina Kinywa, the principal, JCC Education Complex. She is an education expert and consultant with a career spanning over 3 decades. That should tell some of us to just sit down, fold their hands and listen, because that was even long before we saw the sun. So some wisdom. She's a conflict resolution expert, a mediator, and a mediation trainer. Wow. That's a huge CV profile. Okay. First of all, karibu sana mama.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana. We are so glad that you're here.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, so that's a lot. You are a principal, you are a conflict resolution expert, a mediator, and a mediation trainer. Just bring us to in the light. What does all that involve?
Well, thank you very much, Lucy, for this time and for me to interact with you and the viewers on this subject of what I do. And I'm really glad to share. As an educationist or education expert, I've been a teacher for the last 30 years and taught both public schools, private schools, and international schools along the line of the 30 years. And in the process, I was able also to get to study and train in conflict resolution, taking me to becoming a mediator. I'm a chartered mediator, a court annexed mediator, and I assist people in resolving their conflicts. Yes, and in Kenya, mediation is being used by the judiciary to assist people in resolving disputes, to decongest the court registry, because there's been backlog. And so the mediators are now being used to assist, but we only mediate civil cases. We don't mediate criminal cases.
Oh, that's what they call out of court.
Yes, out of court settlement. And also you have heard of the small courts. The small courts, there's so many of those cases. But even in the high courts, at the county levels, we have that department of mediation. Yeah, and it has helped a lot in removing the backlog in courts. Yeah.
Wow. So today we're talking about interpersonal relationships. What is interpersonal relationship?
Wow, that's a subject I love because I like the practicability of it. Interpersonal relationships. I just begin by defining that word inter. When you come across this word inter, it means there are 2 things or 2 people. So there's something in between the 2 people. And it can be between 2 people or 2 groups of people. So interpersonal, we are referring to person to person. And for the purpose of this particular case, we are talking about human beings, between human beings, 2 people. So interpersonal relationship, and sorry, if I were to define also the word relationship, that's levels of interaction between people. So when you combine all of it, we are talking about, or rather it means relationships or interactions, engagements between people, 2 people or 2 groups of people, 2 persons or 2 groups of people. Yes, so in a simple way, that is how I define interpersonal relationship. Yes.
Wow. And there are different types of this kind of relationships.
Sure.
If you could highlight them for us.
Yes, there are different types, very many types actually, but we can put them in categories. We categorize them, and I'll talk about just a few of them, like 4 of them. We have the basic one given by God, the family, because right from where we started as mankind, when now God created us, he created Adam, and so that it's not right for him to be alone, and gave him Eve. And that is where interpersonal relationships began between human beings. But before then, there was an interpersonal relationship between God and man, that is between God and Adam. And you know, they had a relationship. God used to come and fellowship with him, so there's something they used to do. That's why I talked of relationship. It's an engagement, interaction between two people or two groups of people who are within the same environment. So you would also go further and talk about interpersonal relationships, like define it like it happens within. We can borrow words like within, among. So between God and man, Adam, there was a relationship. Then between man, that is Adam, and Eve, there was also another relationship. And now God was also in the picture. So you see, this is a relationship which has taken another dimension. There is between Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve and God. Yes, so the family relationships, which represent the best and the most basic interpersonal relationship, started at that point of Adam and Eve. Then they were told to multiply and fill the earth. And we are products of the same. Now, when this happened, you find that now with so many people, there had to be a way in which these people are relating. So we have the father, mother, we have father, son, daughter, daughter, mother, and all those in-laws, neighbors, and it went out country, you know, then international. So basically the family is the most, the smallest unit in interpersonal relationships. And I'll talk more about it, but just an example, there is a level of engagement between husband and wife. There is a level of engagement between the two, whereby there must be some a way of these people engaging or relating or interacting through basically communication. And coming from that, you find that going forward, wherever people are, I'm already drifting to my favorite subject of conflict resolution. Wherever people are, there must be conflict. So it's not always that people will be interacting on nice things, you know, laughing all the time and having fun all the time and good things all the time. No, sometimes people also interact and engage in areas where they disagree. And this happens in any relationship between two people or two groups of people. At some point, a disagreement can arise, a difference can arise. And of course, this happened even with Adam and Eve, and it had its consequences. Yeah, but we'll look at that later. So another type of interpersonal relationship is between friends. So you can have somebody who is your friend by choice, or by maybe environment, or by what you do. So we have such kind of relationship. So people are sharing something. We are friends because maybe we are neighbors, or maybe we went to school together, or we are working together, or something like that. Or we met on online. Nowadays there's a lot of that, where people are friends, they don't know each other, and they talk and behave like
they know each other.
They have met. Yes. So there is that level of friendship, there is acquaintances. Okay, with interpersonal relationships also, the levels of engagement also matter, because the level of engagement in an acquaintance kind of a relationship is not so deep. But with the friendship, this is somebody who shares your joys, your shame, your tears, share your story, they share everything. But with acquaintances, there is that level that you can go beyond. So we also can talk of a very important kind of a relationship, interpersonal relationship, that influences not only the community, but also the world at large. The workplace kind of relationships. That is relationships between colleagues, the people you are working with. Yeah, so that's also another very important type of a relationship. Yes.
I want to ask something. Boundaries. When it comes to this kind of relationships, there should be, when it comes to family, there are boundaries. There's a line which is supposed to be drawn. And so is friendship and at the workplace, the relationship at the workplace. Where should we draw that line?
Well, that's a very important and strong question and point, because that's where people have to be competent in knowing the extent or the level to which you can engage, you can relate, you can interact with this other party, with this other group. Now, and that's where people need to know at what level do I do this? Because if you go beyond or you do less in whichever relationship, then it causes conflict. Then it causes problems. And that's why you see, like, for instance, between a husband and wife, this is a very open relationship, and it goes beyond everything, almost everything, actually everything, emotional, psychological, financial, relational, in terms of relatives on both sides. And it's so deep, such that if one party tries to hide something from the other party, it becomes or gives the wrong information, it leads to conflict. Okay, differences and disagreements. But but when they become open, then now at that level of that relationship, it's good. Now, workplace, for instance, when you go to the workplace, there are levels that workers should go. It should only, the level of interaction here should only go up to the working point. I mean, the office or the working environment. Once they leave the working environment, they should go out and deal with other things, because a person, as much as we are dealing with other people, we have also the person, and that's what we call the interpersonal. Interpersonal, that the interpersonal relationship, that's relationship with yourself. So when you are done with work, you go now and do your stuff. And when you're doing your stuff, you're actually interacting with yourself. And that's where you see, you go maybe do your hair, maybe take your car to service or for cleaning, visit a relative. So that now builds you from the inside. Allow me to say this, when the person is healthy from inside, they will be healthy when they are relating with other people. So if we have healthy people who are healthy, they're able to deal with themselves, they're able to manage themselves, they'll be able to manage social relations. So the interpersonal relations will be better. Now, let's come back to the levels now at the workplace. So when this person has left the office, let them leave the office in the office, then go and do other things. Now, when you bring things from home to the office, where you're like, I saw her with I don't know who, and I think she was doing this and doing that. You see, now that information spilling over to the office may look like this person is maybe sabotaging the company or something, and this now, when it spills now to higher levels, it now becomes another source of problem, because it may lead now to the focus on this person, and it was actually not meant to be. So when we bring the outside into the inside, the outside world into the office, causes conflict. When we take the office to the outside, it will cause conflict, because if you've had a difference, okay, God forbid, if someone has a difference with a colleague and they go home and start now projecting it to the partner, either husband or wife, or whoever they live with, then you see, that's another source of a conflict. So the levels, knowing the levels is very important. So how will people know? People have to be empowered. People have to be given the knowledge that this is the far you can go, this is the way you behave. You see, it's all about behavior. So the levels, people have to be empowered and sensitized on this. And being an education expert, I believe, and from my experience, the best place to impart this is in the school system.
Oh, sure.
Yes, it's in the school system, so that people grow up, the children grow up with this knowledge. And as the Bible says, when they grow up, they will not depart from it.
Yes.
Yeah, then they will become people who, when they grow up, they become people who are very good at managing social relationships. Yes.
There's a quote or a lot, it's a saying on social media a lot, says, your colleagues are not your friends. Do your job and go home. What's your take on that?
I completely agree with that. Yes, because when you become too close to your colleagues, they know too much about you. And now, one day, when you step on each other's toes, then this colleague, because may not be well socialized, may not be competent in interpersonal skills, will spill out everything about your life, which you had kept safely behind, that box that you hide. But now your friend knows that, your colleague knows that, and when they spill it out, you lose your face. And that affects the productivity at work. And that, can also lead to people losing their jobs. Yes.
That brings me to communication. What role does communication play in interpersonal relationships?
Great. Communication in anything called relationship, communication is the glue. Communication is the sustaining fuel. Because if people don't communicate, and what is communication anyway? By the way, people misuse the word communication. And communication is that process. It's a process. It's not an event. It's not a one-time thing. It's a process. It takes time. You have message. For instance, I have message I want to send to you. I want you to know. Now, which method do I take this information to you? And how do I get your response? Feedback. There's some feedback you expect immediately. There's some feedback you expect after some time. So how do I get it? So you find, if again, someone is not skilled with the competence of communication to know that you need to send a message, wait for the response within this span of time, and now give the feedback, then it will again bring what we call communication breakdown. Or it brings a miscommunication or a misunderstanding, which leads to differences and interferes with interpersonal relationships. Yes. So I don't know whether I've answered that.
So communication, you have to know how to communicate.
Yes.
The model of communication and how the feedback is going to get to whoever you're communicating.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Can I say a little bit more on that? So with communication now, you find that I take the message I send to you, whether through by phone, by SMS, by sending somebody to you, by doing a letter to you. So whichever method, nowadays there are very many methods of communication. Then let the other person communicate back. It's good also when you're communicating, you're very clear. Kindly respond to me this within so many hours, within so many days. And then the person now responds within that given time. And if someone is not able to, let them say it. Because again, there is normally that aspect of someone delays in giving back feedback. So causing the other side to get paralyzed or frustrated and then interfering with the process. Then now, once this person responds within the given time, then you find that the sender of the message now is able to get a feedback and to know how to move forward. So if it's a product you're selling or you're working on, and there is that communication from the person who is producing the product, the person who is packaging it, for instance, and someone who is marketing it, and someone who is taking it to the field, transport and all that. You see, now from the transport, now it comes back to the sender. You see, I take an example of a company where they are producing paint or cement. The nearest factory here around where we are is a cement factory. So who is the origin of that company, cement making company? The owner. Let's call this owner director. So the director gets the vision and starts the company. So what do you need? He gets all that he needs. That's including the human resource and physical resources. And then now the human resource has supposed to make cement. So he wants cement. The vision is so cement. The process, other people now come in, the experts come in to do the process. Then at the end of the day, he wants his cement. Now, so you see, that is now the way communication should be. It's a conveyor belt, and it comes back with a response. And when that is complete, you find that interpersonal relationships will be very healthy. And healthy interpersonal relationships, Lucy, they lead to healthy people, where there is that good communication in that environment, whether it's a workplace, it's church, it's family, it's a community, neighborhood, where people are able to talk to each other. Not talk to each other, sorry. Talk with each other. We talk with each other. People are able to understand each other. And when someone is offended, just tell the other person, hey, you offended me. I did not feel good when you said this. And the best way to do that, that's an entire training of communication, but there's something which I've been seeing which causes a lot of, I've been observing something which causes a lot of miscommunication. That is whereby you when you give the message, it comes in not clear. Not clear. It may be a yes, but a yes, but instead of yes, full stop. You see? Yes, when it is yes, but, and you do not give me the but, it will bring a miscommunication. So the person being instructed or given the message is going to give a different kind of response. And now the other part, the sender will feel that maybe they are disrespected depending on their status or their position. And again, now this causes the misunderstanding and miscommunication.
I just thought about cultural differences when it comes to communication. I remember there was a time someone wanted me to pass over something to him, and he was like, "Wewe, nipatie that, you know." And I looked at him and I was like, "No, that's not how you ask. That's not how you request." And we had that conversation, and he didn't see where he was wrong, because me, I expected him to say, "Hi, could you kindly pass that?" Not wewe nipatie hiyo, like it was a command. We had that conversation, and like they didn't get it.
What you Okay, let me just a comment on that. When you're communicating, let it look like, especially something you want from someone or you want to correct, let it come out like, I feel, or I would be glad if you did this, like you have just said, kindly pass. You see, already you are expressing, this is from me. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that I may take up your time and your energy and everything. That's why you're being nice, you know, kindly. So we also need to learn in communication to start with the I, not you. You see, like we were supposed to meet at Java for coffee at 4:30, and then you arrive at 5. So when you come, I'm there fuming, very angry, and when you sit down, the first thing I should not say is, "You have kept me waiting." I should say, "I really feel offended that you have taken so much time to arrive. You got late, and we are, and it's not what you had agreed." You get that? Yeah, so take it, you know, from you first. Not because when you say, You have kept me waiting. You have delayed me. Already a fight has started. You will now come to your defense.
Yeah.
And you're like, because now maybe you're held up in jam, or in fact your being there is a miracle. And then here I'm telling you and bashing you.
Yeah.
So you find that if we could get those competencies, I call them competencies, it would reduce interpersonal misunderstandings. I mean misunderstandings within interpersonal relationships, and therefore creating healthier relationships.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Like, I am offended you.
Yes.
That's really powerful.
I did not like the way you talked about me too. I do not, I think you could arrange your desk in a better way, you know, not like your desk is very untidy, you know, so we call it reframing in mediation, we call it reframing. You don't miss the message, but the way you present the message is softer, it's not hard. Yeah.
Wow. So what is good interpersonal relationship for you?
Good interpersonal relationship is a relationship where people, the two people involved, or the two groups of people involved, have well developed communication, effective communication. So basically, it's about communication. Yes. And now we can start from there, and I can do an entire seminar on that. Yeah, but it's communication. How you send your message, how they're received, and how the response is, and what happens after that. So good interpersonal relationships are pegged on good communication. Prompt, concise, clear, correct, yes, and complete.
Complete. And upbringing contributes a lot in communication. There's, again, a family friend of ours who, they communicate by shouting. And they're okay with it. Like, everyone is shouting in that house, even if they are laughing.
That's like culture.
Yeah.
Some cultures are like that, yeah.
How do you not bring this to your relationships? Or how do you have, like, a line that you will not offend people and these people will not be offended when it comes to communication? Because some people talk in low tones, and now you meet these people.
Wow.
You kwenyu mnaongeanga sauti ya juu, huko kwingine wanaongeanga pole pole. How do you strike that balance?
Well, thank you. That one could be because of culture and maumbile, you know, the way genetic makeup. Like in our home, we all talk very loudly. So if you find us talking, you'd think we are just about to fight. Yeah. But we're actually talking. So I'll still go back. There are things which don't change. I'll still go back to people being empowered with the competencies of learning how to communicate. Yes. That one of, I am sorry, I did this. Please. I call them pets. If people are empowered with that pets meaning P standing for please, E standing for excuse me, T standing for thank you, and the S standing for sorry. So if we could be empowered with that, and we are empowered on how to use them, when you wrong somebody, don't wait for them to come and complain. Say, I am really sorry. That settles a lot of things in interpersonal relationships. Yeah, so in a situation like that, the best thing is people to have the knowledge, people to be sensitized. And how does that happen? Through the school system, through the church, because those are the two areas where there is serious communication, serious education rather, going on in the church
and the schools.
And the schools. Yeah.
And what's the importance of interpersonal relationships?
Again, the importance of interpersonal relationships. Okay, allow me to say importance of having good and healthy interpersonal relationships. Because I will always drift again towards conflict resolution. So when people have healthy relationships between themselves, they're interacting in a healthy way between themselves, then we are going to have healthy people and healthy relationships. And when relationships are healthy, then we are going to have companies which are, I call them conflict competent. Yeah, because people are able to manage their misunderstandings and their miscommunications. Now, so the importance there, apart from people being healthy, is that it will translate to the place of work. So the companies or the organizations are going to have more productivity because people are able to resolve their differences in amicable ways. Now, on the other hand, even in church, when people are empowered with conflict, communication skills, we will have fewer issues and people will be happier because majority of the people, even in church, are hurting. And they're hurting just because of a word that was said to them, spoken about them, not said to them. So if people would go and approach the person because they are competent with the skills of interpersonal relationships, then you find that it will be easy because the other person may actually have said something and they did not know they offended this person. And when they say sorry, remember pets, when they say sorry, please, because the other one came and said, please, please, excuse me, no, excuse me, you offended me when you did 1, 2, 3, or when you didn't do blah, blah, blah. And the other one says, I'm really sorry, I did not know that. And then they talk, and in the end, they'll say thank you. So you see, it all rotates around the pets, making those interpersonal relationships healthy. And now when these people are like that, it means this person will go back home, having forgiven the relative, the neighbor, the chief, you know, even God. I keep telling my students, stop getting angry with God. Forgive God. Tell God, I felt like this. You did not answer my prayer that one when I prayed. So God, keep in constant communication. So back to the importance, it leads to healthy people, and we will not have many mental health issues because people are not carrying baggages. You are able to deal with issues when they come. And when the mental healthy people will lead to healthy organizations, healthy church, healthy families, and productivity will increase at the place of work. And I'm sure the hospitals will get less clients. I may not be a good friend to hospitals when it comes to that, but they'll have fewer clients because people are able now to manage themselves. And since we're in the communication age, then this is really critical. We should practice it for interpersonal relationships. You'll also find that it brings harmony because people are able to communicate, understand each other, talk with each other. So there'll be harmony in the family, in the neighborhood, community, school, church, and the country at large, and the world at large. So the greatest point I would wish to bring here is the point on it will lead to a conflict competent society. By society, I'm encompassing all institutions and organizations, workplace, home, church, and within the village where people live. So we are going to have a conflict competent society. And we'll have very few people fighting. Like I lent you my money, or the charmer lent you some money, you did not pay back. So you disappear. You change your line and move to another estate, shift, you know. So people now are left wondering where you went, looking for you. You see, now that causes conflict. But if this person came and said, hey guys, yes, you give me money, I worked, things didn't work out, so I don't have money to refund, I can pay you in this way, or you give me time, I pay this way, and then these ones agree, they talk, they negotiate until they come to an agreeable solution on how this money will be paid back. Then this person will not have gone to the trouble of shifting, it's expensive, the trouble of changing the phone number, you know, and losing friends that he knew, because it doesn't mean that because you have shifted, problems will stop. In fact, you have shifted with him. And so that's why I'm saying this will lead to a healthy society, because it will be a conflict competent society. I've actually authored a book called 5 Habits of Conflict Competent Schools. Yes. So because when people are conflict competent, you what you hear is calmness. You don't hear issues coming from there. Because people are able to resolve their disagreements. And let me tell you, conflict is a very big word. Many things we call things we call conflict, they're actually differences on disagreements. Yeah.
Not conflict.
Not conflict. Yeah. That's a topic for another day. But in terms of importance of interpersonal, having good interpersonal relationships, it is to maintain a healthy society which is conflict competent, and people are able to talk with each other and resolve disagreements and resolve differences, and therefore we have harmony, increased productivity, and there will be progress and development. There are some places, I think you've heard, even at the national level, communities have refused to allow maybe a road, a rail to pass through, and it's actually for their advantage, for progress and for the national good. And so you see, when there are no good interpersonal relationships, it can lead to slowed development, even from the national level. The government being in conflict with the communities, then they'll be unable to cascade developmental aspects to the community. So to arrest that, or to manage that, or to mitigate that, then we need to have more people empowered in how to have good interpersonal relationships, and be equipped with those skills, so that now they can appreciate the need for that. It's actually comes back to them in forms of development and progress. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, how do I tell my parents that I feel like you should have treated me like this? How should I tell my boss? How do I tell my teacher?
Great.
This is someone who is above me, like way above me. How do I get to tell these people, I was not happy that you did 1, 2, 3, and 4?
That's a very good question in interpersonal relationships. When it comes to now, that is resolving matters. When it comes to that, there are 3 levels. First, between the two. So in a case where there is likely to be power play, because what you have just said, parent, child, teacher, student, there may be power play from one side. Just go with those words as you said. Mama, I was not happy with that statement that you made, respectfully. Say it respectfully. Even if they get so angry and they throw you out of the room and they are very angry, but they remember the way you came in with respect and the words, Mama, I was not it started with you. It was not accusatory. You were not. Did not sound accusing. No one wants to be accused. You see, everyone wants to be understood, or to be understood. So if that doesn't work, or if you don't have the confidence, get a third party, neutral party. So this neutral party will now come in and call both of you and say, Lucy came to me and she asked if you could have a conversation. And so that's why I called you. And now this conversation is to ask, Lucy needs to ask you something. So the neutral party can ask you to say it in their presence, but if they're not comfortable, let the neutral party say it for you. Like, Lucy would like to, is asking you or requesting you to forgive them for what they did. Or Lucy is asking what could have led to that outburst or those words you said, so that you can have a harmonious relationship. So you see, the neutral party will come in that way. And if it's a criminal offense, you don't negotiate on that. That one is escalated to court straight away. The police and the process takes over. So there's always good to go for a third party. Now, in case of like a school, it's a student who wants to talk to a teacher and they're unapproachable. The student can go through their class teacher. And if they feel they're not confident enough with the class teacher, they can now escalate to the guidance and counseling teacher. And if that wanaona is still not possible, they escalate to the principal. Because the office of the principal is supposed to have an open door policy whereby students can walk in anytime and talk. Like, that's what I have with my students. Anytime they know they can come in. And if I see my student standing at the secretary's place, waiting to see me, I first attend to the student, then others later, so that you're able to assist them, you know, to build that competence in communication and in conflict resolution at an early stage. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think we have just scratched kidogo hivi. We are yet to dig deeper.
Sure, there's a lot.
Thank you so much, Mwalimu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome, and thank you very much too for hosting me in this and allowing me to share what I have.
So we are going to keep calling you because wisdom.
Thank you so much. Most welcome.
So thank you so much. Pets. I think that has topped what I've taken home today. Please, excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. Those are really, really, really important words that are going to create just an harmonious environment for all of us. You're going for a short break. We'll be right back. We are at JCC TV on all social media platforms, and I am Lucy Mwendwa. Don't go anywhere.
When revival comes, your priorities begin to shift. What was once important is no longer important, and what is now is important is Jesus Christ. So we must praise him in an African way.
afford to wait for Jesus doing nothing. He knows that as long as you are here, there is somebody who is going to watch. There is somebody praying for you. There's too much grace in you to hide. You carry too much oil. We are running to get you. We are not waiting. We are not walking. We are not there to discuss. Jesus personally, Bishop personally, Senior Pastor personally, put your foot again on ground zero. Can I have an amen? The fact that I came to your church, it does not authenticate your evil. And we are hiding behind fathers. Fathers don't put a seal on your wickedness. If you are wicked, be wicked or turn away from your wickedness. We are going to turn the world upside down. received an invitation. We are going back. We are going back to turn the world upside down. Upside down.
Shalom everyone, my name is Wilfred Lai. I'm the lead pastor in JCC Mombasa and the general overseer of JCC International. I am very excited about what is just about to happen. In a few weeks, World Explosion Leaders Conference will be taking place here in Mombasa, and I want to welcome every leader. You who are a pastor, a bishop, you are a leader in your church, in every level of leadership. This is your conference and you cannot afford to miss it. We are celebrating 30 years of training leaders here in World Explosion, and it is going to be very, very special this time, and I want you to register yourself. The information is on the screen. Register yourself right now and we will see you. The conference will be taking place from the 28th of November to the 4th of December. May the Lord bless you as you plan to come.
Registration is ongoing. Enter business number 991070, account number E-REG, amount 1,000. Registration for the meals and accommodation, go to M-Pesa Paybill, enter business number 991070, account number E-ACC, amount 3,000.